Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Moxxie Coaching Podcast. My name is Michelle, and I'll be your host as we explore what coaching is and how it can help you create your best life. If you're anything like me, it's important to you to give back in some way. Maybe it's volunteering in the soup kitchen. Maybe it's donating $1 million to environmental research. It doesn't really matter. I started coaching and podcasting because I'm just one person who can only do so much alone. And I realized that through coaching and through podcasting, I could help and support those of you who want to do good works and exponentially increase the amount of good that I'm able to do. So if this sounds like you, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Be well. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Moxxie Coaching Podcast. This week, I just have one announcement, and that is just a super quick reminder, if you have not already, to head over to the Moxxie Coaching website and sign up to enter for the free reading for the month of April. That reading will be in the first podcast issue or first podcast episode in the month of April. And if you don't remember, what we had decided to do was just sort of glom everything together. Originally, we had two different drawings. Now we're just going to do one for simplicity's sake. So if you are interested, go ahead and head over there. I would love to see what we can do about getting you a free either 1 hour tarot reading that includes a 15-minute live Q&A on Zoom, or a traditional coaching session, a full 1 hour coaching session. So whichever you would prefer. This week, we're going to be talking about yes and no questions for the tarot. When I first discovered the tarot about 1,000,000 years ago, is what it seems like, I was really looking at it for what I thought were its fortune-telling qualities. At that point, I just really was a lot more interested in, getting an answer to the cute guy in chem class. Does he like me? Am I going to get this new job that I want? All of the things that we're often focused on when we're in college and we're, sort of coming into our own as adults. Honestly, I was not really too concerned about personal development at that point. So the tarot was a fun thing to play with, right? Well, fast forward quite a few years, and I spend a lot of time now doing personal development work and considering, where I am in my life and do I want to be here? Do I not want to be here? A lot of introspection. And I think that's pretty typical as we get older, right? Meaning that the way I use the tarot now is vastly different from the way I used to use it. However, I'm not saying that you should never use the tarot for a yes and no question. In my opinion, it is not the best route to get an answer, or at least to get an answer to anything more important than, should I cut my hair? Should I, I don't know, paint the living room, that type of thing. I just don't think that it's a great tool to use for anything that's more important or anything that potentially could have impact on another person, right? So for the fun stuff, for the easy stuff, I'm all for it. Just not my personal approach. Doesn't mean that it can't be done, but I just don't think it's a great tool. And one of the reasons is we have free will. And so often when someone wants an answer to a yes or no question, that question involves someone outside of themselves. Uh, a lot of times I will get reading requests. Um, is so and so my soulmate? Am I supposed to be with this person? Am I supposed to be with that person? Um, am I going to get this job, right? So, all of these questions are questions whose outcome is dependent, at least in part, or at least impacted by another party. So, while I could do a reading for someone today and tell them yes or no, that person is their soulmate, yes or no, that job's going to be offered to them, whatever, that reading is accurate for that moment. But when we consider the fact that as soon as we step away from the reading, someone can make a different choice, and that impacts the outcome of our reading. It's just basically, it's just way too much energy, too many people's energy to try to nail down in a really, really definitive way. The problem I have with yes or no readings is that typically, not always, but typically, people want just a super short one card reading. Boom, yes or no, tell me the answer. And a one card reading is just really by definition, in my opinion, a shallow reading. You're looking at one card and you are making a decision based on that one card. And I think that the tarot is better. It provides better information if we use more than one card, if we allow an answer to be more nuanced than simply yes or no. I believe that the tarot is a great tool for giving us an understanding of what we need to do to achieve a goal, for providing insight and direction, from our subconscious, sort of drawing that to the surface so we can use it. Same thing with our guides, sort of concentrating our energy and concentrating our intention in a way that it's easier for us to, I don't want to say hear, what do I want to say? To acknowledge, to receive what it is our guides are sending out to us. I think that tarot is more of an energetic give and take than is available, I guess, with a simple yes and no reading. I need a lot of variety in my work to maintain my interest and keep me engaged. So when somebody asked me recently if I would help her rework a course she had created that she just wasn't happy with, I agreed. And I enjoyed the process so much, I am officially hooked and announcing that I'm looking for additional people to work with. For her, I did a full course audit, identifying the areas of potential improvement, and then I worked with her to make sure that those changes were implemented. I edited her content for flow and clarity. I added cover pages and slides to her videos. We did supplemental worksheets, transcripts, and then I branded the entire package for her. For other clients, I've created courses from start to finish. Literally from this is the concept to what is the certificate at the end of the course. So I can take either your concept and turn it into a course for you, or we can work together and even do work from the perspective of a coaching practice that coaches you through developing your own course. So the next time you want to create a course, you have the skills to do that. So I'm just putting that out there, letting you all know officially. It's on my website, but I haven't really made much of an announcement here, that if you know anyone, particularly in the realm of wellness, health, anything in that range, in the spirituality range, who is interested or just needs some assistance, please point them my way. I would be thrilled to help out. Of course, for more information, you can visit the Moxxie Coaching website. And there, if you click on course development, you will be taken to the page with all of the course development information, of course. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you will have a chance to enroll in the Moxxie Coaching Course Development Challenge, which is an 8-day coaching challenge where every couple days you will receive a worksheet packet that takes you through an element of developing your first curriculum. So that is available on the Moxxie Coaching website under course design. You can check that out and get started right away. Thanks. So just because I don't think that yes or no questions are the best way to use the tarot, I would not ever tell you that they're not the only way, and I would never tell you how to use the tarot as a tool for yourself. Almost everything that I am telling you in this podcast is based on my experience, based on what has worked for me, and I think that that's one of the most wonderful things about the tarot is that you can use it in the way that works best for you. Now, I promised you guys I would let you know how I do yes and no readings when I basically am required to do them. And I think it's a good thing for you to know, even if it's just from the perspective of playing with your cards and learning the card meanings. That's a really good way, or this will be a good way to do that. So, how does one do the reading? Well, first, of course, you are focusing and centering and visualizing just like you always do. You are writing the question down just like you always do to create that connection between the brain and the body and the mind and the hands. You are going to choose a signifier card. And that signifier card will either represent you, if the reading is for you, or the person for whom the reading is designated. A signifier card is a card that represents the person the reading is for. So, for example, I am a Taurus, and the Queen of Pentacles is often a card that I will pull for myself to use as a signifier. So it's, to look at the cards that are drawn to you, that you're drawn to look at the cards that are maybe tied to your astrological symbol, tied to you numerologically. Basically what you're doing is you are choosing a card to represent yourself in the reading. If you have done the birth card course, the free birth card course on the website, you might want to choose to use your birth card as your signifier. And that's what I often do that as well. And I often resonate a lot more with my birth card than with any of the queens. But typically what will happen is, if I'm doing a reading for someone else and I don't know them very well, usually I will pick a signifier that's based on their birthday. But if I do know them really well, I may pick a signifier that is just based on their personality. Often signifiers are court cards or cards that represent a person in some way. When you're looking at the court cards, when you're looking at which one seems to be a good match for you as a signifier, I would recommend that you look at all of the cards as if they are non-binary. That it's not about whether the gender of the being on the card is male or female. It's much more about what the energy of that card is. So for example, if for some reason I'm doing a reading for someone, let's say Jen Psaki, okay? She is the White House press person, and she is no nonsense. She is smart as a whip, and I think probably she would intimidate the hell out of me if I met her in person, but I just think she's awesome. Well, I would give her a King of Swords signifier because she is so confident, she is so powerful. And because she is more out in the public than the Queen of Swords, right? The Queen of Swords has more of a tendency to sit back and wait for her subjects to come to her. She works with them from there. But the King of Swords is much more of an interactive and involved type of card. So that's what I would pick for the signifier. Okay, so signifiers technically can be any card that resonates with you or with the person for whom you're reading, that seems like a good energetic match for the question that you're asking. Next, take your signifier card and randomly put it somewhere in your deck and then begin your shuffling. Do whatever ritual, routine, whatever it is that you do when you're shuffling. Of course, always consider the question as you're shuffling. Just all the normal stuff. Making sure that the cards are really well shuffled and that you have no clue where your signifier is in the deck. Then, when you're satisfied with how your deck has been shuffled and cut or whatever it is that you've done, then you're just going to begin to flip cards over one at a time. Just like you were playing, like when you were a kid and you play war and you flip the cards, just like that. Boom, 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 boom. When you come to your signifier card, you're going to stop. The card after your signifier card is the card that is the one you are supposed to be reading. The one that is supposed to be your quick and dirty answer to your yes and no question. So clearly, this is one of the reasons that it's a little challenging, right? It's one card that we're trying to base our answer on. So these are the things that I consider when I evaluate a yes and no question based on one card. I consider the suit. Is the suit, how does the suit fit in to the question? Is the question focused on ideas and the suit is a sword? That could be a good thing. Is the question focused on money and the suit is cups, right? Not necessarily the most congruous match right there. Maybe not the best answer for a yes. Consider your numerology. Look at the number of the card and look at the numerological, excuse me, the numerological significance of that card. How about the symbolism? Is there any symbolism in the card that provides any insight to you about what might indicate a yes or a no? What do you see in the card? Aside from the traditional meaning, aside from all of the other things that I've just listed, what does your gut say? Especially in relationship to your question when that card comes up. What does my gut say? How does seeing this card feel in my body? Is this traditionally what I would consider a positive card? Or is this traditionally what I would consider a negative card? And again, taking a look at the symbolism. So that's it. That is the way that you do a very quick and dirty one card yes and no reading. And honestly, what I usually end up doing is then asking a subsequent question, then asking for more detail, for more information, for more insight. Um, and I don't know, maybe that's just because I'm like a control freak and I want things to be correct. I mean, if I'm going to go, I don't know, get a pixie haircut, I want it to be right. So, you kind of get what I'm talking about. I have a hard time with these, but I do see the value in them. I do completely recognize that so many people, that's what they want. They want just a boom, yes and no answer and a little bit of direction one way or the other. And that's just not my normal reading style. Um, as you heard, if you listened to last week's podcast episode, um, of me doing a live reading, that is definitely not my MO. Short and sweet doesn't really go with me with tarot. All right, that's how you do it. That is my opinion on it. I am not saying it's good. I am not saying it's necessarily bad. I am just saying use it with the knowledge that I've given you and use it in a way that works for you. All of my suggestions about, picking the signifier, da 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 da, that's all my thing. And it's not that that thing is not based on research. It's not based on, that it's not based on my own experience because it is. But as I said, the tarot is such an incredibly personal tool that the more you use it, the more you are going to establish your unique relationship with it. And at that point, you can really make a good, solid, informed decision about how you want to use it, whether or not you want to use yes or no questions, and all of that good stuff. But in the meantime, I do encourage you to just play with the cards that way. Just practice choosing practice choosing signifier cards for people that you know. And then just do random, just silly yes and no question readings. I'm picking a signifier for my dad, and should he take that paragliding class that I've been trying to talk him into taking? Just that kind of stuff, because it is an excellent way to expand your knowledge of the card, expand your relationship with the cards, and often even see them in a different light when you're using them in different applications. All right, I think that is it for the yes and no questions. If you all have any questions, please don't hesitate to shoot me a quick email or find me on social. I'm happy to answer them for you. And yeah, you all have a great week. I will look forward to seeing you all or talking to you all next week. Bye-bye.